Mr. Barron, lead us in it, since this is his first meeting here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for all.
The delayed audio threw me off.
Yeah, I thought it was just hearing stuff. I figured it might.
It's like an echo.
We're in stereo now.
Okay. Roll call, please, Ms. Melport.
Commissioner Barron,
Here.
Commissioner Pasula,
Here.
Commissioner Savoy,
Here.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Here.
and Chairman Martin.
Here. Do we have any additions, deletions to the agenda?
I would make the motion that we adopt the agenda as submitted.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the agenda as presented. Any discussion, gentlemen? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, before we start the public comment here, I think, I would hope that somehow people got a look at our resolution 2021-01. We are not creating a sanctuary city. We are not promoting throwing everything open, no rules. I think Mr. Height put it very well, and that after doing research and looking at it legally, looking at what it could do to our numbers, looking at what it could do to our health department, i.e. Lansing slamming down on them really hard, that we need to make our voices heard, but to go that far at this point did not seem to be like a good thing to do. And so if you're one here who is concerned that, we're just throwing the doors open and throwing all the rules out, please understand that is not what we are promoting. That is not what's in the resolution. I don't know if, in hindsight, because this is my first one of these, should we have posted this online before, or was it online and I just don't know?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Was it?
It was posted on.
Okay, so it was posted online, but I still got 3 emails today of people saying, what are you doing? So I get that. So that being said, I know there are going to be some of you who are going to say this does not go far enough, and I realize there are some of you who are going to say, what did I just say? Some are going to say it goes too far, and some are going to say it doesn't go far enough. And that's fine. The rules are 3 minutes per person. We will not banter back and forth. We will not debate. You will get your time to say your piece. Normally, we have a 10 to 12 minute limit on any one subject, but with this meeting being simply one subject, unless the gentlemen disagree, we would allow everyone to speak their piece without staying within the 10 to 12 minute timeline. Is that all right, commissioners? Pasio? So what? Is that okay? I mean, 3 minutes per person, but we'll let this go as long.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll just make the decision. All right, let's go. You can raise your hand electronically, but
Was Representative DeMoose, did he have something he wanted to say?
I'm sorry. Pasio?
Representative DeMoose, I believe.
Oh, Representative DeMoose?
Did he have something he
Yeah,
wanted to say?
hi,
first?
how are you all?
Go ahead, yes, sir.
I didn't mean to go first. I just got too eager to raise my hand. I apologize.
Yeah.
But I'll just, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll just say, listen, for as much as I can do, I'm here to support you. And I got to tell you that this is frustrating. And I heard you talking beforehand to have these extensions. We think we can open in December and we get extended. We think we can open last week in January, we get extended. And at the last minute, it's just terrible because I've talked to so many restaurant owners who, like you said, they stock up and they think they get to open, they bring people back, they get their restaurants ready, and then they're shut down again. So a couple things. One is this is a battle I'm trying to fight in Lansing too, and I'm so happy with this resolution you did. I think it's the exact right strategy because it's not just saying we're going to do whatever we want at all, but it's a very responsible, honorable request saying we want to know what's going to happen and we want you to open us back up. I get calls all day long about people who feel powerless. And in fact, last week I got kind of depressed about it because, in a way, people are powerless because of the way things are structured. I went in and talked to one of the leaders about this. He said, "No, they're not." He said, "At the House level, we have the power of the budget that we can control, and we're going to use that. That's undeniably given to the legislature. But on the other thing that people can do, the other side." Is public pressure. And that's what you're doing. And I think everything you're doing is a great argument for government that's closer to home. You should be making the decisions for Chippewa County, not us in Lansing. I'll do what I can to support you. I have a resolution out there for Restaurant Dine-In Day because we're going to make that first day great, whatever that day is. We're going to promote the daylights out of it. I've got an open letter going into the governor tomorrow that is all about this locking in February 1st so that restaurants can count on what's going to happen. And I just wanted to say I'm here to support you and I'm here to listen to you. You're doing a great job and I'm glad you're doing this whole thing. And I think Scott Shackleton, you sent this to me. I might even have been the one, you might have even been the one to write it. And I just thought it was very well worded, very conscientious, and I hope you pass this.
Boy, you're good. You had 2 seconds left. Yes, Commissioner Shackleton worked tirelessly on this compromise resolution again, and we are certainly thankful for that. Mr. Height?
Do you want to stand up or?
Yeah, just if you want to come up here to the red lights, that way they'll hear you out there inside.
Nobody around, is it okay if I?
We have a hand up on the screen as well.
Okay,
We'll go
so
back.
whoever is on the screen, you will be next.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess I just wanted to talk real quick about what my organization is. I've had a lot of questions of exactly what that is. We are called the Chippewa County Small Business Owners. It's an organization that I started back in April of 2020 to kind of help fellow business people navigate through regulations. A lot of COVID restrictions were forced down on businesses that nobody understood. It was coming quickly. We have 211 members plus 15 members who don't necessarily have Facebook or anything like that. They're just members out there who call or we talk face to face. So we have myself as the president and we have 6 moderators that somewhat act like trustees. Some of the things we work on, we worked with some things on the school board to help them, let them know that the children could return safely. Some of the things we're working on now, I spoke with Commissioner Martin about this last night, is we're trying to help these businesses through the Economic Development Corporation at the state level go through the cumbersome business survival grant. It's tough. People are waiting in long lines for it. But what we can say is hard work, get your paperwork done, it will get processed. Some of our future projects, we have another one slated. We're going to start working with the director of the MHSAA, who actually has some Sioux ties, to let them know that we are ready to re-engage our children safely back in sports. That very much has to do a lot with small businesses. We'll also be reaching out to Mr. Gagliardi, the director of the Liquor Control Commission, on how we can extend an olive branch to some of these bars and restaurants and fix that feathered or tattered bond with them. So none of us in the business community want to do anything that put anybody's lives at risk. And at first, when this Baraga County manifesto came out, it brought a lot of emotions to the surface. And those emotions kind of landed right on our commissioners' laps. After talking to various commissioners, studying the legality of it, talking to other commissioners in other counties, we realized in this group that it was just too reckless. It's very reckless in that it puts people's lives at risk that are vulnerable. It seems to put our healthcare system at risk. It puts our health department at risk, our prosecutor, our sheriff. The list just goes on to too many risks for too many people. So we switched gears and asked the commission to draft a resolution like this to just let the governor know how dire our situation is in Chippewa County for our hospitality industry. The people are losing their homes. They're losing their businesses. PPP, extended unemployment benefits, haven't helped them. It's actually twisted the knife a little bit for them. We just feel like they've been told they're non-essential, and they all know that they're going to be essential again on April 15th when it's time to pay their taxes. So they feel alone in a forest, and I feel like it's us now. It's our time to step up and show them that we're going to reach our hand out and extend our help to them. So I think it starts here at the county level. So thank you very much, guys.
Good, thank you. Okay.
Paul Warwick has their hand up.
Yes. Who had their hand up?
Paul Warwick.
Okay, Ms. Warwick, please.
I had to unmute myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling on behalf of myself, but I do want to make it clear I'm also a board member with the Center for Change Northern Michigan Advocacy, and I'm also the lead on the healthcare task force. So that is primarily why I'm concerned about this resolution. What I want to state is that I believe that the resolution is misguided. The actions that are called for will only increase viral spread and place a greater strain on our medical system. Michigan has benefited from a lower rate of spread, partly because we have had these restrictions. The restrictions are also why the rate of spread among bars and restaurants has been kept to a low 5%. The restrictions are helping. They are both necessary and critically important. I get that our restaurant and bar owners are hurting. I would be one miserable person and worried sick every single day if I was in their situation. Unfortunately, what I see here is not a solution, but a way to make matters worse. We should be calling upon the federal government to step up and provide substantial financial help during this time. A resolution to the president and to Congress is what's needed. Our state and other states can only do so much in terms of financial support. Finally, while reading the resolution, I was dismayed by the absence of input from our medical experts. I respectfully ask our commissioners to avoid rushing this resolution through and to consider carefully all facets before voting. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Warwick. Appreciate your input. Do we have another hand up?
There's an actual physical hand up.
Yeah, that's
Jenny?
literal. Did that show up? Who do we have running IT today?
Jenny.
Jenny.
I'm
Jenny?
looking. I don't see any other hands currently.
Brian Newland has his
Brian.
hand
Oh.
Chair,
I don't even
Chairperson Newland, sir?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. I don't have the hand function on my Zoom here for this meeting, but I just wanted to take a few minutes to address the county board. I haven't actually had the opportunity to meet with many of you in person about COVID restrictions, but I'm Brian Newland, tribal chairperson for Bay Mills Indian Community. Bay Mills Indian Community is the third largest employer in Chippewa County. Combined with the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe and War Memorial Hospital, we make up the three largest employers. We have taken a significant, we own restaurants as a tribe, and we have a number of tribal members who own small businesses here who, like many other small business owners, have suffered. Bay Mills Indian Community has seen a reduction in our revenues to the tribe through gaming and other businesses drop by more than 60% since the pandemic started. And I will note that that decline is not directly attributable to what's gone on in Lansing because we are outside the jurisdiction of the state of Michigan when it comes to public health orders. So this pandemic is having an economic impact on people regardless of the restrictions that are in place because people are playing it safe and they're staying home. We have, as a tribe, spent several $1 million to coordinate with the Chippewa County Health Department, War Memorial Hospital, the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe, the state of Michigan, and the federal government to prevent the spread of COVID here in Chippewa County in the eastern UP. And I think the numbers bear out that that investment and that cooperation has been successful. We have saved lives by working with one another here in the EUP and coordinating our response, whether it's through surveillance testing or now vaccination. And I've appreciated the cooperation of Chippewa County Health Department and the professionals there in this effort. And I work a lot with tribal leaders from around the country, and I can say with a high degree of confidence that what we are seeing here in Chippewa County in terms of coordinated COVID response, there aren't many places that are doing it like we're doing it. And so I want to extend my gratitude to the county board for the work that your health department is doing with us because we're saving lives. Now, I think that I understand very well as somebody who has to deal with laying people off. I had to lay off my in-laws earlier this year because of our budget constraints and what folks are dealing with when it comes to losing revenues in their small businesses. But I also want to point out that we're saving lives. And we are on the doorstep of vaccinating now almost 6,000 people in this county, nearly 15% of Chippewa County residents by the end of this week. And in short order, we will double that number and we will see a dramatic reduction in the spread of COVID here in Chippewa County. And so I want to make sure that those of you on the board who are considering this resolution today understand what's at stake, but also understand the level of cooperation and the investment of time, energy, and money that has gone into this fight. It isn't for naught. Your team has saved lives. We have saved lives. And over the next several weeks with the rollout of these vaccines, we will save more lives. And I would just encourage those of you tuning in to keep up your basic mitigation efforts, wearing your masks, keeping your distance, limiting your gathering, because giving up at this point or pulling back on those restrictions is going to cause people to lose their lives who otherwise would not. And we are very close to getting on the other side of this pandemic, and we've been able to do that together. And our cooperation is a model not only for the rest of the state of Michigan, but for the rest of the United States. So on behalf of Bay Mills Indian community, I want to say miigwech to you for allowing me to speak, miigwech to the health department staff for their dedicated effort. And I look forward to finishing out this fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson Newland. Another hand?
I'm looking.
Is that Derek's iPhone or, I don't know, is he waving? Jenny, what, have you got anybody with a hand up?
I don't see anybody with the hand up.
Okay,
How would you say anyone?
does anybody, if you want to speak, actually physically wave your hand so we know. There, okay,
All right.
Derek wants to speak.
Derek, go ahead, sir.
Derek's iPhone. Jenny, can you put him on?
Oh,
Hang on, Derek, you're not live yet.
I'm looking. I don't even see Derek.
It's showing up on our screen as Derek's iPhone.
Well, I can ask to unmute because they have their mic muted.
Oh, can you unmute?
Can you,
Try that, Derek.
Talk, Derek?
he's talking, but there's no sound. Oh, uh-oh.
I think we lost him.
I'm not sure, pardon me, I'm just not sure if we all know necessarily where to raise one's hand on the Zoom call.
Well, you're talking, why don't you go ahead? Is that okay?
Are you
Sure, I
sure?
mean, I can speak if you'd like. I can't, my video's not working, so I apologize that I don't have video.
That's fine.
My name is John. I can speak if you'd like me to, though. Yeah. My name is John Pettis. I'm an adult education teacher in Rudyard, Michigan. So I live out here. I've been under the same COVID restrictions as everybody else this last year. And I appreciate greatly the opportunity to speak with you all today. And speaking in relation to this resolution, I have to consider Pure Country, which is my local restaurant that is right close to me out here. I live out here. My family's been out here for many years, and Pure Country is where I go to if on the weekend I have an opportunity to go have dinner, have lunch, maybe even breakfast, enjoy a cup of coffee. And so I know every single person that works there. I know their first names. And this is definitely something that has an impact on our communities. When we're speaking of restaurants, we're speaking of people that are real. They are our neighbors, they are our friends, they are our loved ones. And so I do appreciate the seriousness of this resolution and the seriousness of the impact that this disease has had on them. I see people on this call that I personally have been in a restaurant with and had conversations with and enjoyed the time and sat across the table with. That being said, I believe that this resolution does miss the fact that we are not fighting something that's logical and rational. We are fighting a virus, we are fighting a disease, and we are doing so at a time that it is very, very difficult. We're doing so at a time that I don't think anyone in this country is happy about the circumstances that we are in. I do appreciate, and I think it is very good that this commission altered the resolution to be one which promotes and helps our restaurant workers. What I would like to see is a resolution that rather goes to the federal government and says, we as an organization and we as a group desperately need help for our citizens, rather than the way the resolution is written. The Constitution of the United States does definitely have 3 distinct branches of government, but those distinct branches of government are not at issue here. There's not an issue of law that needs to be decided. There's an issue of science, and there's an issue of having an actual virus that we are fighting. I cannot wait to get back to my local restaurant. I can't wait to get back to see the people that I know, and I know that I will be tipping generously, as I hope everyone here is, when we are able to meet back together. Because in no instance are our restaurant workers appreciated more than for somebody like myself, who literally, if I want to have a warm meal, I need to go to a restaurant. Thank you so much for your time. I do not support this resolution, but I do appreciate that you are considering the people of this county. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Peckus. Did we get, was it Justin's phone?
Derek.
Derek's phone? Did we get Derek's phone back?
Yeah, he reconnected.
I'm here.
Hey, there we go.
There you are.
There we go. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having the meeting. I'm in favor of this resolution. I own Derek's Barbershop here in town in the Sioux. I just wanted to point out that I have 5 kids, 8, 6, 4, 2, and a 7-month-old. I have $3,000 in mortgages. And I have a wife that's a nurse practitioner who is unemployed through all this. And I'm working 7 days a week, every day since November. And it's been tough. But I'm in favor of letting the governor know how we feel and what we're really dealing with, guys. It's been really tough. I've been married for 20 years, and I've been a barber for quite a while. And this is the worst I've seen it. And I just wanted to give you guys what I got to deal with every day. So that's all I have to say. So.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time, Derek.
Yep.
Do we have anybody else out there? You can physically wave your hand if, oh, there we go. Yes, ma'am.
How's it going? Good.
Heidi, we can't hear you.
I gotta listen to garbage.
We can still hear
You
Derek.
can still hear Derek.
Heidi, yeah, Heidi has her hand up. If you could speak, Heidi?
Yeah. Which one's Heidi?
I don't have a last name with it.
Heidi, if you're out there, wave at us if you can hear us.
I think I'm good now. The star fix finally worked. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey there. I'm Heidi Wichak. I'm a resident of this county, and I am glad that you are meeting and talking about this. I agree with Mr. Petkus and Mr. Warwick. We need to focus not on what's happening with the governor. All of the states are in trouble. We need to make our position known to the federal government so that we can get some money for state and local governments to help with this. We need to be pushing to make sure that the federal government is finally a team player with us. I would not support a resolution like this. It doesn't help the governor. It doesn't help protect the health of our people. Let's focus the energy where it needs to be. And thank all of you, county commissioners, for your service.
Thank you, Heidi. Appreciate it.
We do have another hand up. It says iPad. I don't know who it is.
Is that Marta?
iPad?
No, because Marta's on here. I don't see.
Okay.
If,
Everyone, can you hear me?
okay, who are we talking to?
This is Johnny Fountain. I'm part of Detour Township. I'm a trustee in Detour.
Okay. Johnny. All right, go ahead, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you all for putting this together and your hard work on this. It's not an easy thing to get going and follow through with. And thanks to Nick for his diligent work. I just want to say as a trustee for Detour that people are hurting and we forget that we represent the people. There's a little word called accountability. We all have to be accountable through this. And right now, we are losing businesses that are not going to come back. And at this point, I'm not the only one that feels that this is political. I understand the virus. I had COVID myself. We need to keep going with life or we're going to lose a whole lot more people to businesses than we are to anything else right now. And I have been talking to the people in the community and this is overwhelmingly a support for opening these businesses up in a way that it's safe, but yet people have to live. And I just want to put that out there. And thank you for listening to me.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. I didn't get a last name.
Fountain.
Fountain. Oh, Fountain. I know that family.
I see Megan has their hand up.
Okay, Megan.
Yeah, hi. I'm Megan Matajasic. I live in Sault Ste. Marie.
The floor is yours.
I'm a big supporter of small businesses here, especially our restaurants. And I just had a quick question. I wanted to know what criteria makes something an emergency meeting. Is it just if a resolution needs to be passed?
It's a special meeting.
Mr. Shackelman, could we address this maybe during our comments?
If I could suggest, we don't do question and
Exactly,
answer.
that's what I mean.
It's your opportunity to speak.
Okay, I got
Megan,
you.
so we'll pass on that for right now.
Okay, and then I just have a couple other things. The other thing is, I know it was mentioned in the resolution that Indiana and Ohio and Wisconsin have all been opened, but I just checked and they have much higher rates of infection. So I guess just maybe a smart, balanced approach, still considering safety measures. But, yeah, absolutely. I reached out to a couple of my business owner friends today and they said, we can't wait. But one of them did say, I'm still gonna follow the rules. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Amy is next that has their hand up.
Okay, Amy?
Hi, my name is Amy Yerstead. I live in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Thank you so much for all of your service and leadership. I do want to lift up what Chairman Newland said. I think he really said a great thing that I hope that we can all reflect on, which is that our health department has been doing a really fantastic job coordinating and keeping us all informed. We check that website, and as many of you already know through my other work, that my husband's Coast Guard. And so we're constantly checking that website to see where we're at. So I want to definitely thank our health department and everyone who's working also at War Memorial and all of their work. I just want to, I'm not for or against the resolution. I just do want to caution you because if our school numbers go up, we have to go back to virtual, and we just got back in. And now after everybody was supposed to stay together, not hang out and do things during the holidays, they did. And now my family, my son particularly, is quarantined from school because, people got COVID because they hung out with one another. And so I want to caution you to do this in the event that we were able to open up, that there is some way to ensure that people are safe about this, because we know that people continue to not be safe because we continue to have COVID, especially in our schools, and it directly impacts our families. And it's hard for everybody. I totally agree. It's hard for our restaurants and bars. But it's also hard for those parents who their kids get COVID and then they have to quarantine, or they don't get COVID and they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time next to someone who has it. So thank you for your work. Thank you for having this meeting and allowing us to talk. I just hope that you're thinking through all of the ramifications about it.
Thank you, Ms. Harstebeth.
Okay, we have Kelly Jarvie Townsend.
Hi, I'm a business owner here in the Sault Ste. Marie. I am not for this resolution, and I just wanted to add one thing to the discussion. You're talking about relief for small businesses. I do know, I've read that there is money available for COVID relief that Governor Whitmer has been trying to work on with Congress, and Congress is now refusing to work with her because she's not opening up restaurants and bars. I don't think that's a great tactic. If you're really worried about businesses, you should do what you can to get some relief out to us. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Do we have more hands up? Yes, ma'am. I see a hand waving.
Me?
Jen? Yep. Ms. Lalonde?
Okay, that's me.
Go ahead if you can.
I just want to, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to say, my daughter owns a business in Sault Ste. Marie, and she's had to be shut down. She's had to have food spoiled. She's had to give food away every time they try to open or not open. Too difficult to do to-goes for her most of the time. She's doing it now. But the money that you talk about getting from the federal government or whatever, she got something, I guess, earlier in the year. I don't know exactly what, and it's not for me to share if I do. But I know that what she got, only a tiny portion of it is a grant. The rest of it is a great big loan that she has to now tack on to her mortgage and in her property taxes and her insurance bills and everything else. And she has a minimal amount of her staff working. Everybody else is laid off. Those people have to support a family. She has a family to support. I watched as she did everything correctly. Everything was sanitized, every seat, every table, every salt shaker, between every customer. Everybody wore masks, well, most everybody. And but all the staff wore masks, including the busser, who was a 14-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, and a 17-year-old girl, my grandchildren. And they wore masks and they worked their butts off. And they sanitized the menus. They did everything right. 98% of the food service businesses have followed all of the rules. They had many sanitizing rules in the first place that brought on just by being in the food service business. And now they've gone far above that. And I think that the governor is going too far, the health department, whatever, is going too far. Michigan and California are the two states that have been closed the hardest with the hardest rules. The other states that are open, doing things correctly, are surviving and are getting by. And I personally don't believe the numbers that you get from some of those statistical things. I think that they're loaded up, but that's a personal opinion. But I didn't get to see the resolution because I joined late, but I do believe I saw something written by Nick, and I support what Nick wrote. And I wish you wouldn't count on federal dollars. Every community is supposed to take care of its own community. Every state is supposed to take care of its own state. So we need to help one another. And that means open up safely and look after each other's backs. If you have a comorbidity, don't go out. Don't expect that you won't get sick if you already have other problems. The rest of us, we have a healthy immune system, or we think we might, and we wear a mask and we go out. And we take that chance. We did with the flu, they did with the Spanish flu, with the chicken pox, you name it, you got it. That's it. That's my opinion. I think I got my opinion out in my own rambling way. Thank you for listening.
Okay, that's fine. You're doing fine. All right.
Thanks for all
Thank you very much. I'm sorry?
I just said thank you all for all you're trying to do.
You're very welcome, ma'am. Next.
Did we get everybody?
Everybody who wants to speak has spoken?
I'm not seeing any hands currently.
Okay.
All right.
All right, then public comment, going once, going twice. I'll declare public comment closed. Now, I just noticed we don't have a space here for commissioner comments, because I was certainly expecting such.
Well,
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Chair, we would make comments regarding the passage of the
So
resolution.
make it during.
Yeah.
Okay, that works, sir. Thank you. All right, new business is basically the resolution. Do we have a motion to go forward?
Would you like a motion before we discuss it?
Generally, we do
Sure.
motion second and then
That's
open for
fine.
discussion.
I would move that we pass resolution 2021-01.
Second.
I would support that.
Okay. All right. So now we're open for discussion, commissioners.
I'll go first.
Bobby Savoy.
Hey, Bobby, I'm going to go if you don't mind.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I should have made notes because there are so many things I guess I'd like to say, but let me start by saying what this resolution is not. This is not a open sanctuary county declaration. This is not a, what was that thing they call it in Baraga? Manifesto. And let me just talk about those two for a second. I think they're a little bit, for lack of a better word, I think they're both a little bit dishonest, because the manifesto is not an official document of the county. It's basically writing down, this is what I think. Well, that's fine. I can write down what I think every day, and so can you. But it's really not doing anything. It's not taking an official position. For us to consider, let's say, a sanctuary county resolution, that's not really being honest with our business people, because that's giving them the idea that they can open and that they are somehow immune to state regulation. Well, they're not. And if you open, and you are violating the state rules, every business owner knows that you could lose your liquor license, you could lose your food license, you could be fined. And anything we say or do is not going to stop the state from doing that. So what this message is a respectful message. It's a nonpartisan message. It's as non-political as possible to simply say that, look, our restaurants and bars are doing everything right. The spread has not been in restaurants and bars, they've been in home settings. You've got the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Lightfoot, who is saying who's been a proponent of things being closed, saying we've got to get our bars and restaurants open because we got too much spread going on at homes. And this is what the Michigan Restaurant Association has been saying. They're saying, go to a restaurant where there's proper sanitation, where there's proper social distancing being enforced, where masks are being enforced, where people are being separated and occupancy levels are reduced. Because there, it's much safer than it is at these homes that they're having dinner parties and parties on Friday and Saturday nights. So give them the opportunity to live, but to go out and do it safely. So that's what we're talking about here. And when people, you always hear, well, follow the science. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about science and looking at what other states are doing. If you look right now, Michigan, we are one of 3 that are totally shut down for bars and restaurants in-house service. One of 3. Yet our daily infection rate per 100,000 is better than 47 other states. Let me say that again. We're only one of 3 closed up, but we're better off than 47 other states. So you hear people say, well, that's because the bars and restaurants are closed. What are we going to do? Keep them closed forever? We can't keep them closed forever. People have to live. You drive down Portage Avenue and you look at the bars and restaurants that are closed. You talk to the hundreds or maybe 2,000 people, my guess, in Chippewa County that work in the service industry that are sitting at home. And they don't want to apply for another handout. They don't want to apply to the federal government. They want to go back to work. And they should be able to go back to work because the numbers bear it out. So where am I, where I'm at is that people are frustrated. They don't understand. They're sick and tired of being told that they can't work. They try to go to unemployment and the unemployment system doesn't work and they don't want that in the first place. People want to be able to go back to work. We're told that about 5% of the spread ever since the beginning, not since they closed in December, since the beginning in March, about 5% of the spread can be attributed to in-house bars and dining. Okay, 5% is kind of significant, but there's 95% that's not coming from bars and restaurants. Yet bars and restaurants alone are the ones that are closed up tight, week after week, month after month, with these mom and pop restaurants not knowing what the heck they're going to do in order to survive and make the payments. It's just wrong, and the people know it. So we need to support the people that work in these industries and the people that own these small businesses. And Chair Martin, may I also read this letter that you received? It is addressed to you. I'd like to read it. It's addressed January 19th. It's addressed to the chairman. It says, Dear Chairperson Martin, on January 18th, we received a draft copy of your proposed resolution message to the governor. On behalf of the city of Sault Ste. Marie, I'd like to extend our sincere appreciation for your positive and constructive approach to addressing these issues with the governor and the state legislature. Although not an actionable agenda item, we did discuss your resolution in our city commission meeting on Monday, January 18th, and had overwhelming support from the individual commissioners. In this case, the counties are the obvious local unit of government to address this issue from a Michigan Department of Health and Human Services order. If you should desire an official resolution or other city action, please let us know in advance of our February 1st meeting. Sincerely, Donald J. Gary, Mayor. So, you know, it is a nonpartisan, common sense thing. It's simply saying the restaurants and the bars should be able to open. Open 100% with no rules? No, they're gonna open at reduced capacity, and they're gonna have to follow the rules and be safe. You know, and that's really what we're asking, and I think that there's been a very unpredictable nature of these rules since the beginning, and we don't know what's coming. And that's why we're saying, look, you're saying February 1st? Well, February 1st wouldn't be terrible, but we're not even sure of that. You know, but even sooner would be better. So I'm hoping that that we pass this, that other counties pass this, and that we send our voice to the governor to say, it's time. It's time to open these businesses. It's time to let these people go back to work. One final point. There is at the end of this a mention that we send our state senators and our state representatives to Lansing to represent us. And they've largely been ignored by the administration since the beginning. Now, however you feel about that, you know, whatever. But again, this is nonpartisan. This is about our type of government, which is 3 branches government with checks and balances. If our representative and our senators were allowed to have a voice, they could speak up for our region when our region is doing better than all the others. Or to the contrary, they could say our region's in trouble right now. You know, but largely our representatives have been non-players in dealing with this crisis, and this resolution also asks the governor to include the legislature in future decision-making regarding COVID regulations. So that's probably most of what I wanted to say. So,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
That's all right. Go ahead. I guess I should respect the seniority of Commissioner Savoy and let him go before you.
I was going to tell you to
Commissioner
let
Mayor.
him go first anyway. He was out there in Cyberland, so he can go.
We'll have you follow, sir. All right, go ahead, Commissioner Savoy.
Oh, well, thank you. And for those, I'm sorry I can't zoom in, but you can hear me. I echo Commissioner Shackleton's comments. I overwhelmingly support this resolution. And after listening to public comments, I just want to make one point clear and to try to put things in more perspective. Several people think our resolution should be directed towards Washington, the federal government, and not Lansing or the governor. But these executive orders and these mandates are strictly coming from the governor, the governor's office, without any legislative input. And it would be inappropriate for us to go above Lansing's head and directly to Washington. Our chain of command is from the city to the county, as the mayor said. The county goes to the state goes to the federal government. It doesn't mean we can't ask for this resolution to go further, but first it needs to be directed towards the governor in the state of Michigan. And I think, you know, I've had more calls and emails on this than any topic as a commissioner for 4 years, or even as sheriff. And I only had one person that was against it, and they don't even reside in my district. Everyone that's contacted me want us to do this. I think it's a bipartisan approach. It's not demanding anything. It's not breaking any rules. If you listen to Commissioner Shackleton, I commend him for putting it together. Nicholas Hike stated it well. And I guess that's it. I do support it.
Thank you, Commissioner Savoy. Commissioner Marin, sir.
Yeah, I just have a few things. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody out there for joining us for this meeting tonight. Right from the start, right out of the gate, last week when that Baraga manifesto hit, I, as well as Commissioner Savoy, I know us too, we've been inundated with phone calls, emails. I apologize to anybody that I haven't responded to back on email yet, but I've had a lot of them. and I've been busy. In my letter that I put out this past Saturday, I clearly stated this is not about being a sanctuary county. I don't even like that word sanctuary anymore. We're not a zoo. We're not going to become a sanctuary for everybody just willy-nilly open up and do whatever they want to. We understand that people have to follow the rules, follow the guidelines set up by the health department. But I also don't feel like there's any reason why these businesses should not be able to open up safely. It's been said that if you open things up safely, it puts the accountability on the individual. And I think the individual responsibility to this pandemic, you'll see a far greater response out of people taking the proper safety precautions when they go out or when they go to a restaurant. I think we've been dealing with pandemics, diseases for as long as this country's been around. And the American people will preserve through this one too, but I think we need to get back to work. I've had a lot of great comments and I've had a lot of bad comments throughout this, and I've enjoyed both of them. I like to hear both sides of the aisle, both arguments, had some really nice conversations. But I do support this. I do think that the American people deserve to get back to work. They deserve the constitutional freedoms that they're guaranteed. Somebody's hollering something out at me here?
No, this was a cough.
Somebody
coughed, yeah. People know that I wear a lot of things out on my sleeve hard, so I'm just going to interject this. 2 Corinthians 12:10. This is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. I think the American people are strong. I think that we can work through this safely. That's about all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Paschal.
Yes, I'm here. I didn't know everybody was going to be there today. I just assumed this was a Zoom meeting for all of us. So sorry, I could have been there. But I too have had a lot of calls on this, and both for and against, and I kind of based mine. I've had more against it, so I'll tell you my reasoning. Paul Warwick and Megan kind of made those points too. I talked to quite a few business owners, and some of them were construction and builders. They've had the best years ever. So there is people spending money where they can. I'm afraid that if we open up the bars and the restaurants, you've got to take your mask off to eat or drink. I'm afraid it's going to spread. I don't know if our hospital can handle it. If it gets out of hand, I worry about that. And I guess something else just happened to mine. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just with that, I just don't want to be the one to have somebody die on my watch. So I'm going to vote against it. And somebody's got to represent that side too. So, and Scott, thanks for all the work you did, and Eric and Jim. I know you put a lot of work in, and it is good. But let's work together, even if we disagree. Let's try and get those people that need some money. I talked to the local restaurant here. She tried to get money. She was on the computer setting it up for 4 hours straight. About 5 seconds into the program, she was 4,000 on the list. So it's hard to even get a loan or a grant. Let's try and work with them. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I would echo that we need to do something to help our small businesses be eligible for those grants and get through. But EDC in Chippewa County has had no luck getting any help from Lansing because the help from Lansing needs to be IT. What I would like to see, if they made me king for a day, would be to open the bars up to 25%, open up the businesses, the restaurants to 50% capacity, if they made me king for a day, which they're not. And I look at last summer, and we did very well, and we're responsible. We were all saying, oh, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Well, it didn't happen, and it didn't happen because business owners were responsible, customers were responsible. They practice social distancing, they practice masking, with a few exceptions, as there's always going to be. But I throw that as a cautionary tale because we saw what happened at Halloween. And quite honestly, that's all it takes is a bad holiday, bad decisions, and it was both. It was people at home, and it was people in businesses acting the way that we simply can't while we have this pandemic going on. And then we added on to that Thanksgiving, then we ended on to that Christmas, and that got us to where we're at. We have shown in the summer that we can do this right. We have shown that we're disciplined because we do have one of the lowest rates in the nation. And whether you like the governor or not, the fact of the matter is, when this thing started, we were number 4 in the country in deaths, and now we're 47th. And yes, it's because we have been strict. But like I said, we have also shown that we can be responsible. And I think we need to find this middle ground. And I think that middle ground is a safe opening of bars and restaurants, with making sure that people know and ownership knows that you have got to toe the line on this, you've got to enforce the rules, or A, people are going to die, most importantly, and B, the businesses are going to be shut back down again. We have a new variant, COVID strain, if you will, that's what, 70% more transmittable, and which again goes back to vaccines and vaccines and vaccines. And if you know someone who says, well, I'm not going to take it, please try to talk them into it. The more people get vaccinated, the safer we will all be, and the less likely that there are more mutations with the virus. I also, too, would echo Chairperson Newland that the health department in Chippewa County, War Memorial Hospital, tribal health in both Bay Mills and in Sioux Tribe has been phenomenal. One of the reasons why we are, if not the best county, one of the best counties in the entire state with our rates is because of the tireless work that they do every single day, 7 days a week. They are going above and beyond and above and beyond and above and beyond. Now, as far as the resolution to DC, I don't have a problem with that because we've done that before. We've sent stuff to Gary Peters' office. We've sent stuff to Stavenaw's office. We've sent stuff to Bergman's office more than once. And I don't see why this resolution could not be sent to them. What do we have to lose? Seriously, other than 53 cents. I mean, they've got to know we need help. But also a good point was brought up that we don't want a handout. I understand that. But even at half opening, they still aren't going to bring everybody back. That's where we've got the stimulus with unemployment extension and $300 a week for each person. Eviction, last I heard, is with the new stimulus bill, and a $600 check, which I think everybody's got but me. My mom's got it. My brother got it. My dad got it.
Because you make too much.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. But I have no problem with us going to DC. And like I said, we did things right over the summer. We just, we were just stupid on Halloween, and it was both businesses and it was house parties. And I know you're saying, well, what could possibly go wrong? Well, we now know what went wrong because we got shut down in October, November, December. So people just have to be smart on this, I think. And again, I will thank Commissioner Shackleton for coming up with a document that says all the right things at all the right times. Therefore, I would hope we could move forward with this unless anybody has any last comments.
If I may?
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
I wanted to echo the compliments to, there's lots of people to compliment, like the healthcare workers, the hospital and the health centers, the tribes, but in particular, our health department, they, like everybody, they didn't see this coming. But holy cow, a lot has been asked of them. They get calls constantly. What do? I just had an employee that had a close contact. Do I let them work? Do I not let them work? What do I have to do next? And now they're gearing up for vaccination clinics. They're doing it. it's amazing what they've been able to rise to, and I think we should all be very grateful, and I know we are. Last note, though, going back to this, is that, you know, these businesses, these small businesses, they go into people who work in them, they go into Walmart, they go into the casino, they go into different businesses that are open, and they look at their business and they say, why can't I be open? You know, what is so different about my business? Because people are walking around Walmart talking to each other, yet I can't allow people to come in and sit in my restaurant and have a cup of coffee, you know. But so I think they feel singled out, and I think they feel that way because they have been singled out. And they're not responsible for the bulk of the spread. The spread has been taking place, as we heard earlier, at homes. You know, so I think we need to support these bars and restaurants. So we also heard, and again, I work in this industry, and I know a lot of young people who work in this industry and they're in college, and a lot of them aren't young. And this is more than they can bear income-wise. This is killing them. I got a guy right now that's just doing a little work at my house. And he said, I got 3 or 4 people who I'm supposed to be doing jobs for them, where they tell me that they have to wait until they can go back to work. You know, and that's the reality. People are losing their incomes, they're sitting home, and they're being told that, well, the federal government should give you money. Well, no, the federal government shouldn't give you money. You should be able to go back to work and make a living. Do it safely, do it following the rules, but let them go back to work. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah, it does. Someone did make a comment to me, oh, you're having a Zoom meeting. And yet you want to open up the bars and restaurants. And to that I say, I sit in a classroom half this size with 29 kids and about this much ventilation. And I do it for 6 hours straight. And you do that, but we can't do this.
Why? Because the government says we can't.
So
I'd be fine with having public here.
I get the optics of that because I live them every day. But I think the schools have shown, many businesses have shown that they can do this, that they're responsible, that they're taking all the precautions. And like I said, over the summer, our businesses, at least in downtown Sault Ste. Marie, showed that they could do that. And our numbers are such that I think now is the time to Ms. Lalonde, because I know you are the matriarch of Frank's Place, that they can do this right, and they can do it well, and they can do it safely, knowing full well that the option is shutting down and people dying. And I think they take that. I think they take that responsibility very, very seriously. Nobody wants blood on their hands, like Commissioner Postula said. Nobody wants blood on their hands. Nobody wants someone's grandmother or grandfather or aunt or uncle or husband or wife to die for the sake of money. But there are also harms with suicide, depression, and things like that. So mental health issues are real right now, higher than they've been since the 2008 recession. And tough times financially lead to tougher times mentally, especially for people as independent as people are up here, who don't want the handout, who would rather work. And like I said, it's my feeling, we as a state have earned the right to try this again. And just please, no more Halloweens till next Halloween. By then we should all be vaccinated, and we should be at full capacity, obviously, by then, or we'd better be. All right, I've had my 2 cents probably 5 times. Is there any more discussion amongst the commissioners?
Well, I just had one. Oh, go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, and just, I hope, I was telling my wife that the other day, it's kind of like after World War II, everybody was pent up for 5 years, couldn't do anything. When it was over, people went out and spent that money. So hope it comes back in the end. And I didn't know Mrs. Malone owned Frank's, and I used to get in there once a month to have one of their good omelets. So when this opens up, I'll see you every week.
The commissioner has a very valid point. The reason why the Spanish flu was so bad, because after World War I was over, everybody came home and to heck with all the rules. And again, I think we learned our lesson October 31st. That can't happen. It can't be, all right, it's, you know, again, we're asking the owners of our small businesses to please enforce the rules. Yeah, I know you don't want to be the mask police. I know you don't want to be the social distancing police, but we don't want to either. And the unfortunate part is, if the government is the masking police, if the government is the social distancing police, places will get shut down, liquor license will be lost. Please be aware of that. That is real. So if you can police yourselves, hopefully with vaccinations, things will only get better. And yes, I've also wished it would be before February 1st, but we'll do the best we can. They don't let us make the rules. All right. Any further? Commissioner Savoy, last chance?
Nothing.
You had one more, right?
I just had one more.
Oh, yes, sir.
With all the call from the comments and of yourself about the federal government, I was going to add this earlier. I forgot all about it. Is there a way to add in now that this is mailed to our federal representatives?
We can just do it.
They can, yeah, it can always be. All we got to do is change who we're sending it to.
Because I think that, you know, Representatives DeMoose, Wayne Schmidt, you know, are good, but I think that we need to also send this off to our federal reps just so they can read it and get their input on it as well.
Agreed. All right, Administrator German.
Nothing, sir.
Okay.
Check it.
Ms. Chair. Okay. All right. All those in favor?
This roll call because it's a resolution.
Oh,
Mr.
shoot.
Chair.
Never mind. Come on. Malfoy, you're supposed to catch me.
She would
She would have.
I should just shut up.
No, I know, you wanted to hurry up and embarrass me first.
No, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner Postula,
No,
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Yes.
and Chairman Martin.
Yes. One last thing before we adjourn, I do think we need to look into helping out, or at least push Lansing, maybe have a resolution for the next regular meeting on the small business grants.
Sure.
And, you know, anything we could do to save our small businesses.
Somebody else can write that one. Might need to-
I just, sorry, I thought there was one more thing I wanted to,
Please.
yeah, so. Yeah.
But you're correcting papers now.
What? Well, that's what I mean, I gotta go back to school and correct papers, that's exactly what so I'm trying to get this done, so I don't have to send another email to somebody, so. But I can't think of it, because I'm getting old and decrepit, so. Any more discussion? Do we have a motion for adjournment?
We have a motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment? Support? All those in favor? We are adjourned,
Aye.
ladies and gentlemen.
You can put me down for the support if you want, Kathy.
Thank you.
Whatever.